So when you know, like Mr. Rattigan, this is a big haphazard news idiot thing. There's nothing rooty about this one. And Jeffery Tavares is also here as well. And this one's a serious matter when you come on to the protection of our ward of the states, especially the females and those who intend this guy that they're doing good, but they have other agenda. Mr. Rattigan, Jeffery Tavares.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Owen and Dudley. Good afternoon, my good friend Wilfred Rattigan.
Good afternoon to all of you. Looking forward to this discussion here, this idiot thing discussion.
Idiot thing. I guess you heard the minister a while ago while in CTV. I guess you heard her.
I watched her live.
All right, and your perspective, because we want to know who dropped the ball, who went wrong, who the buck stopped with, the minister or with the CPFSA.
Okay. Again, thank you for having me, and warm regards to your listening audience. Now, as we started out by saying, this is a real idiot thing, because if you listen to the way she said she chronicled her contacts with the event, think about if she had used that effort in the beginning. Now, let's start with the fact that this is the Minister of Education, and she has a responsibility to those children, that vulnerable population. Mm. Here's the first thing that should have occurred. First thing is somebody's coming into your country and they want to work with this vulnerable population, right? Wards of the state. The children, the first thing you do, they're coming in with a foundation. And the first thing I would do, knowing that it's an American foundation, I would go to the U.S. Embassy. Right. And I would ask the consular section, is this company and is the owner
above board? Yeah.
Yeah. Are they registered with you guys? And if they're not, or if they are, can you please give us a background on these folks? They'd gladly do that. And guess what? The problem, we wouldn't be discussing this problem today. Wow. When he first notified them that he was coming, that if they had done that, none of this would have happened. Mm-hmm. The second thing is, go ahead, Jeffrey.
But Mr. Rattigan and Owen and Dudley, this thing has been going on from March of 2021.
Yes.
And the Minister of Education knew about this, along with the then Minister, the Junior Minister, the Minister of Education, Robert Morgan, who's now the Minister of Information.
But when I find...
Now tell me something now, Mr. Rattigan. If they knew about this, sir, for so long, do you think that the only person should tender their resignation is that lady there? I think the minister should go to...
From the CFSA?
Yes.
No.
Gage Gray. Miss Gage Gray.
Mm-hmm. Here's how I view it.
Yes.
This is a very simple matter. Very simple matter. And this goes back to my background and my training. She either knew about it and did nothing, meaning the minister, Favor Williams, mm-hmm. or she should have known about it, being the minister, because one of the responsibilities of being a minister is that you know what's going on in your ministry. If you don't know, then you have no business being there. Now, she said she found out in March of last year. Now, the question I have to ask her is this. Is there a policy in the Ministry of Education concerning foundations coming in and working with entities under your governance? Is there such a policy? And if there's such a policy, was it followed? And if there's no such policy, why isn't there such a policy? Because I'm sure this is not the first time somebody came to Jamaica wanting to work with the Ministry of Education. So, and then from last March, she chronicled her contacts with this CPFSA, but what she didn't chronicle was what she directed them to do. What she chronicled was that they were telling her this and they were telling her that. Listen, woman, come out of your chair and go deal with the problem. That's what you need to do. Don't just sit down there and make people tell you nonsense. You are the one in charge of this. And we're talking about probably one of the most vulnerable communities in Jamaica. And you sit down there and just listen. Because she said she had regular, I think it was weekly meetings with them, and they were telling her, yes, everything is fine, everything is fine. No, you're the minister. No, you don't take their word as gospel, something like this. And if they had done this, if they had done this when the guy first came in, they would have found out, because yesterday I found out from a journalist over at CVM that she did a simple Google search and she found out the court records, all of this stuff about this man. So why is it that the minister didn't do that when he first came in? And then since March of last year, why is it that she didn't get up off her duff and reach out to the minister, to reach out to her counterpart over at the American Embassy and say, what is going on with this group? She would have found out. This is almost a year ago.
And not only the Minister of Information, who's the Minister of Information for the country, should have done something too. He needs to go.
Look, I agree with you 100%.
In
fact, let me just interrupt you 1 quick second there.
Yeah.
I'm being told that the Prime Minister met with the Governor General. I think it was yesterday. And that can only mean one thing, the shuffle, because he has to provide the names to the Governor General.
Yes.
I'm hoping that Favor Williams's name is on that list to be shuffled out of the cabinet. She shouldn't get another position. She should not. This woman is an abject failure. She's a disgrace to Jamaica. She has no leadership qualities that we can speak of. And she has demonstrated that time and time again. It's time for her to go.
Well, she said that she ordered the CFA to sever ties with Mr. LeBank's organization, but that severing take for forever.
But that man is already out of the island. They can't find him, based on information that I'm getting. And that proves to you that our children who's been abused, whether by men or women, are not safe.
So yes, what was the other criminal investigation?
Where?
In Jamaica here.
Dudley, this thing has been going on from March of 2021.
Yeah, yes, I know, but I saw some texts that he said was inappropriate to some young girl.
Yes, from that time it has been going on. From that time,
person or in transition back from out of the home back to their personal homes, but nothing was reported officially. It's not out of the island. So go be like that.
No. Hold on. This thing has been reported to the Minister of Education back in 2021.
From March, yeah, I know that. I get
March.
That.
Hold on. What they did was to sever ties with him, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Going to a different home, that the man owned that same home.
Yes, another home.
That he's a part of. So you're telling me that the Minister of Education know anything about this either?
No one did on their due diligence. As Mr. Rattigan was saying, the background check was not done, or maybe somebody knows something and was trying to cover it up.
Or some money went under the table.
As usual, this is Jamaica, so it's possible.
Wilfred Rattigan?
Well, look, I'm not surprised by what's going on, except that I'm surprised that this woman still has a job, because she, if you go back and you look at her town hall meeting at Jamaica College last year, it was despicable. It was a piss poor performance. And in fact, most of the questions, she couldn't even answer questions from a sixth former, the head girl from Arden.
On live radio.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was a very, very poor performance. And she couldn't even answer questions. The question furnished by the head girl, I think, from Arden High School regarding teachers. She couldn't even answer that. And almost every question that she fielded, she was assisted in answering those questions, either by her assistant or by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister couldn't, in fact, the Prime Minister was supposed to leave. And it's almost like he must say, no, sir, I can't lift this woman if you answer them my question here. You know, and he had to stay. He asked for an extra. He said, no, I will stay here, because in fact, the Minister of Information said that, the Prime Minister has to leave because he has to go here, he has to go there. And the Prime Minister said, no, I'm going to stay and finish up this thing. And I know why, because when he's looking at his representative, this is his representative. And she's delivering such a poor performance that he said, no, I cannot leave this woman here. So he should have removed her from back then, even before that. She was a poor choice to begin with. And what we're seeing now is the unraveling of that decision. And it's not a pretty sight. Not
the
a pretty sight.
well, the shuffle expect to be including her and to be replaced by Floyd Green. That's what
We're not sure about that, Dudley.
I heard about that.
We're not concrete. Let us not say
No, that's
that
what
we're not sure of.
that's a confirmation, but we heard that it's a possibility. We're not confirming it, but there's a possibility
That what?
that Ms. Williams could be removed from the cabinet and replaced by Floyd Green. That's a possibility.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how dire the situation is. Tell you how dire it is. My cousin in Waterhouse, who never finished high school, I think would be a better replacement than for a better minister of education than Favor. That's how terrible she is.
Wow.
In my regard.
So, Mr. Rattigan, based on your experience in the FBI, what would have the FBI done? Or do you think that Jamaica should have rather a registration that link with America stating that a Tom Jones is a child molester?
Well, here's the thing. Somebody being an adjudicated child molester, that's public knowledge. You can find that in any courthouse where the person where that case took place. That's public record. All they had to do, it's very simple. All they had to do, since it was an American foundation coming in, all they had to do was just go to the American embassy and go to and I'm telling them how to do this. This is free information. Go and ask for the consular section. Because if you're an American living in Jamaica, you're supposed to register, or if you're doing business, you're supposed to register with the consular section so that they know you're there, right? And all they had to do was just to ask, hey, is this man, Mr. Rubinsky, whatever his name is, and this company, is there any evidence of them registering with you? And if the answer is yes or no, doesn't matter. Then you say, okay, they want to come in and do business with us. Can you tell us a bit more about this person? And would you recommend? What would happen is that they would come back and say, well, we can't recommend or not recommend. What we can tell you is that here is a matter of public record. The fact that A, B, C, D, F, and then Jamaica would have to make its decision. It's simple as that. Simple as that. One phone call.
But Mr. Rattigan, the question must be asked of the government of Jamaica, and I'm sure Mr. Brown has a question too. Is the Minister of Education, along with the Minister of Information now, this has been going on from 2021, and you're saying to me the lackadaisical effort of the Minister of Education along with the Minister of Information allow this man to stay in this country from March of 2001 to now, where they can't find him, and he sexually assault how many young ladies?
You see how
and they're talking about good governing in this country?
Yeah, you see how lax they are, and when you talk about border security and border protection and all that stuff. Now, this man is accused, right, of these things, of abusing these children. And the minister knew about this from March of last year. She should have known about this from a long time. That from the moment the guy set foot in Jamaica, she should have known that this is a man that should not be anywhere near our children. But be that as it may, he showed up last year. And now that they have this issue with him, right, they can't find him. You would think that once the allegations were made back in last year and the minister became aware of it, she would have engaged the DPP, engaged the police to say, look, let's do a surveillance on this guy. If there's something to charge him with, let's make sure that we charge him so that he doesn't leave the island. Because once he leaves, now we're going to have to go through the process of bringing charges here and filing for extradition, right? Which is a tedious process. I mean, why do we make things so difficult? Why?
And do America really send this citizens overseas by extradition? Do they really do it?
Well, for this guy, depending on how the paperwork is drafted and sent to Office of International Affairs, DOJ, Department of Justice, depending on the paperwork, I think in this case they would probably send him back. They'd probably send him back because remember he was accused of the same thing here, of abusing children here in the U.S. or his organization was. I'm not quite sure if it was him or someone within his organization.
And question: was it just only accused, or was he convicted?
Well, from what I'm being told, because I haven't looked at the record, but somebody saw some court records.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody saw the person I spoke with yesterday apparently saw a docket, a court record.
Yes, there was some court record from the Washington.
Right. So being the case, it shows that this man is a habitual offender. And I think what would happen is that
he went to the courts in America.
Yeah, right. So I think based on that, I think they would send him. But again, you see what's going on now. Now you have to go file. You have to file first. You have to file the letters rogatory, meaning that you're gonna have to inform him about the charge. Well, before you get to that, you have to file the charges. Then you file the letters rogatory, so you're informing him that there are charges pending against him, and then you have to go through the extradition process. And then I'm sure he's gonna fight the extradition process, right? And then it's gonna cost time, effort, money. As I'm saying, we've made it difficult. We have made it difficult.
Very, very difficult. So we overlook an easy process. But this man license for teaching has been suspended since 2014 in America.
Yeah. And you mean we couldn't find that out?
No, 2014.
And we couldn't find that out?
Oh, something wrong. Yeah, something is wrong.
No, man. You know what happened? Here's what's wrong. What's wrong is the fact that the minister, she stood there and she delivered this poor excuse. And again, this is very similar to what Minister Thompson did when they found out that when there was a report about the deplorable conditions of the hospitals.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Some of the hospitals. And I listened to him. And what he did was he blamed people visiting patients.
Yes,
right?
I remember that.
Right. Then I think he even blamed patients and he blamed the hospital administrator.
Tireless and face-based and all that stuff. Yeah.
Then he blamed the regional administrators. He blamed everyone but himself. And he's the minister.
Man in charge.
Here's leadership. Leadership is this. You know what? I run the shop. There's a problem there. And hold me responsible. I will fix it. That's leadership. It's not me. It's John Brown. It's John Tom. It's Mary Kia. It's this. It's that. It's that. Then the question I have for you is then why do we need you there? Why are you there? We don't need you.
It can't prevent it from happening.
No, and again, you see, this is so typical of the way we govern in Jamaica. We govern in a reactive way. We don't govern in a proactive way. We don't go out and say we're gonna try and stop things from happening. We go out and say, okay, we're gonna try and deal with the issue after the issue has been exposed. You know, what would happen if this never come to light? This man would still be there molesting children,
right?
Allegedly.
As you wind down now from the program now, tell us now what needs to be done right now as we speak. What needs to be done now as we speak? With
as we speak, what they need, they have a report, right?
Yeah.
So what they need to do is they need to go to the DPP, go to the police. They need to start lining up their witnesses, lining up their evidence, documentary, video, whatever they have, and then bring everything. Beg your pardon?
What's that messages they sent to the young ladies?
Yes, right. To collect all of that, right? Then they go to the DPP to press charges. Then after that, then they contact the U.S. Embassy and said, hey, we have an issue here. In fact, they can talk to the FBI, the ambassador, deputy ambassador, the personal consular service. There's a wide range of people they can talk to, but I would start with the ambassador because then he would get the agency heads together. They would have a meeting and then he would explain to them what's going on. The leads would go out, right, to find this guy. And believe me, that guy's, I mean, I can find him now. I can make one phone call and find that guy right now. It's not a problem. So if I can do it, then there's no reason why they can approach the U.S. government to get that done. And then start putting the appropriate paperwork for him to be extradited. That's all. Because you cannot bring those charges. You can't bring those charges in America because the crime didn't occur, or the alleged crime didn't occur in America. So you can't bring the charges here.
This is a big idiot thing, trust me. On the government side and the big idiot thing this.
Oh, massive. Massive. You're supposed to play Agent Sasko again. I'm playing like later on. I'm playing tonight. Every time the story come out, you play it.
That thing, man. Yeah, man. It's a big
my final thing on this, Dudley, the Minister of Education should step down as minister. the Minister of Information should step down as minister. The two of them need to go.
Well, let's see when under shuffling deck who will be shuffled out.
Right.
No,
but here's the thing. And I think the point, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jeffrey. I think the point Jeffrey is making that even if you shuffle them out, they still should be held accountable.
Yes.
They need to go now. They need to step down now before the reshuffling.
Yeah, but even and even if you reshuffle it, the issue doesn't die because they're gone. It happened on their watch, so they should be made to stand before the court of public opinion and answer questions to the citizens of Jamaica. They should be made. And
the lady who they say should step aside should step aside and not get any pay. They should pay her how much she go.
Well, this need a part 2. All right, so we're coming to the end of a special Roots episode. Don't tell this one is haphazard, is an idiot thing. This is more idiot than any other thing. More idiot thing. Idiot thing today. No, nothing rootsy. Straight idiot thing. Thank you, Sir Rattigan and Jeffery Tavares for the special haphazard news idiot thing. It's a topical issue. If us must succeed, because we care for children who are vulnerable. So we have to keep this thing in the forefront. That's we can learn from the mistake of others.
You know one thing before you go. You know what they should ask them? They should ask them if they have children. They should ask them that, and then ask them the same question you asked me. Ask them, what's your reaction to what happened with these children and this man? That's what they should have asked them.
All right, yeah, man. As a Vox Pop feature.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where we come to the end of today's special haphazard news. All right, here on Roots FM 96.1. Wow, this issue will continue.
Take care, Reggie.
Board. All items should now be stowed securely, either in an overhead bin or under the seat in front of you.
Join me, Sugar Wayne Watkins, every Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. until 5:30 p.m. for The Flight. Coming through the airwaves of Roots 96.1 FM. The Flight is a